Last night I was out chasing auroras and we had an incredible night, and I want to share some of that experience with you. I had my microphone running when I was out there and I recorded a few of my thoughts, so you can join me for that moment and enjoy just a couple of photos and some time lapses taken on the Lumix S1R2 and the Lumix S9. Hope you enjoy it. My name is Ewen and I'm an editorial photographer from Australia. I make short videos to share my joy of photography and invite you to step into my world. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It just doesn't stop. It's a whole new design every few seconds. It starts in one area of the sky, moves to the top, bursts out into a corona. Oh, there it goes. There's the reds, and then the greens, and then back to red. That's amazing. That is just amazing. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. This is my third shoot session with the Aurora tonight. Didn't plan to be out quite this late, but we saw on the satellite that something big was coming. We'd already had 2 amazing sessions earlier tonight. I'm standing in the middle of a forest. It's minus 10 degrees, might be a bit colder. The trees are dusted with snow. We've had some nice snowfall over the last few days and we haven't had any wind. So all the snow is still on the branches. The sky is absolutely clear. There is not a cloud in any direction. I've got 2 cameras rolling. I've got one pointing up to the sky towards the south and the other pointing to the east, because that's just the direction of the river and I'm using the river as part of my composition. It's a beautiful little spot. It's just a bend in the trail. It's not far from the road. It's not hard to get to. We have just enough snow on the ground to make everything lovely, but not too much snow that it's hard to walk around. It is just the ideal conditions. The moon is pretty much a full moon and it's moving behind the pine trees. Part of the forest is being illuminated and part of it is backlit by the moon, which just makes for amazing composition. There's so many options, so many creative options that I can think about here right now. Earlier in the evening, I was shooting down at the cabins by the shore and the tide was out, so you could walk right out across the rocks. And we got beautiful reflections off the water. We got to do some shoots with the actual cabins in the shot. Lots of snow everywhere. It's just been really, really beautiful night here in Norway. This little patch of Norway where I am now, it's not one of the hotspots. It's not one of the well-known places, which is why I like it. It's why I'm here. I spent years traveling to Lofoten and I really loved it. And then it got really popular and lots of photographers go there and there's a couple of iconic scenes and everyone has got their tripods clashed up against each other. And I don't really enjoy that. It's not my idea of fun. And then I started going to Tromsø and Senja, and Tromsø is just ridiculous now. There are so many people doing aurora chases in Tromsø. And essentially, anywhere within a 2-hour drive of Tromsø is going to be wall-to-wall tourists now. That place has just gone off like a bomb. It is so popular. Everyone wants to see the auroras, and Tromsø is a great place to see them. If you're going to go anywhere to see them, then that's the place. If you want to photograph them, you probably want somewhere a little bit quieter. So we're here in a little town that's halfway between Senja and Lofoten. It's not a particularly touristy place. They're famous for making boats, and now they're doing lots of salmon farms. So that's where all the money comes from. Not a lot of tourists in this neck of the woods, but there are some really nice people. There's a couple of local photographers here who've helped me to get to know some of the area and some of the special spots where we can photograph. And tonight we're just making the most of it. We've been shooting across the fjord, we've been shooting by the river, we've been shooting in the forest, and nights like these are the nights that I really love in Arctic Norway. These are the nights that I remember. I've got some really lovely pictures from tonight, so I'm going to have a lot to remember this one by. This really will be one of my favourite nights. It's not necessarily the biggest night that I've seen. We've had other nights that were bigger and maybe had some moments that were even more spectacular. But I feel tonight I kind of have my photography together. I really like shooting with the moonlight. That's a really big plus for me. It brings this extra light into the sky. It gives you the blue colours. It gives you some light to work the landscape, so composition is more than just a silhouette and more than just the sky. I keep thinking that this is all about to end, that it's going to stop and fade away, and then just another wave comes through, another pulse of light. When you're out here and the aurora is going off, you kind of forget about the cold, you stop thinking about that. You're looking up at the sky and you're marveling at it, and maybe you're thinking about your camera and what your settings are doing, and is it too bright? Are you overexposing because it's pulsing so hard and so bright? You forget that it's cold. Something I have noticed on this trip to Norway, this year especially, I've enjoyed using slower exposures than I normally do. I spent so much time trying to push my technology to get faster exposures and get down to 1 second and things like that. And that's nice, but you're always on the edge. You're pushing your lens to the limit. You're pushing your ISO to the limit. You're squeezing the most out of your sensor. Whereas if you step back, like if you have a 20-second exposure instead of a 2-second exposure, it's really beautiful. It's soft and it's gentle and it's rich. The tones are smoother because it's not pushing everything to the limit. You can shoot a 20-second exposure at f2.8, at ISO 1600. Any camera can do that, any camera. And for time lapse, I kept thinking that I wanted to go faster and faster, and sometimes the aurora moves really, really quickly, and so that extra speed is nice. But the problem is it looks panicked. It looks so frantic when you put that into a time lapse. It's too much. And actually slowing it down by going to 4 or even 5 seconds, your moments are smoother. So when you put the time lapse together, it looks smoother. And I like smooth. So if you're ever planning to come up to the Arctic to chase auroras, I recommend you don't just come for a couple of nights. That would be crazy. You might not see anything. You might be the wrong 2 nights. Don't just come for 5 days. That's not enough either. Like, you might get lucky. You'll certainly hear from people who did come for 5 days and they saw stuff. They will tell you, oh, it was great and we saw things and it was really cool. You probably won't hear from the people who came for 5 days and didn't see anything, and there's lots of those. But for me, when I come up to the Arctic, I want to spend as much time here as possible. Most nights aren't going to be the most amazing night, but every now and then you just get a sensational night like tonight. Tonight is just incredible. And if I have to drive for 3 hours to get to that spot, then that's what I'll do. But tonight I didn't have to do that. Tonight it was right out the back door. And it's just been beautiful. And I want to share this with as many people as possible. I love sharing this stuff. I love the photography and I love the experience of the North. I love the reindeer and I love the cod and I love the people up here and I love the snow and I love the crazy weather. Oh, there goes, wow, there's just like a purple ripple just scooting across. Man, sometimes it's so fast. Most of the time, auroras are just sort of slow and gentle and they kind of sit there on the horizon and then they sort of slowly move towards you and the bands stretch out overhead and then all of a sudden they just burst. And you get these ripples that race from one side of the sky to the other. They cover from east to west and they just move. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is just phenomenal. I think it's brighter than the moon. It's brighter than the moonlight. One side of it is still a little bit dark and the other side, there's so much light from aurora on the other side of the band that it's just green. So the sky is all painted in green on one half and then it's kind of blue and darker on the other. That is just sublime. This is like art on a celestial scale. The solar winds coming from the sun crashing into one side of the earth and then stretching out the magnetosphere, stretching it way off behind the planet, and then it snaps back. And that snapback happens on the dark side of the planet. It happens at night. And we get this, we get auroras dancing in the sky. Just amazing aurora activity in every direction right now. In every direction. That's just amazing. Well, there's a bit of cloud coming across now. It's coming from 2 sides. I think that's going to be the end of the night. That's usually my cue. When the clouds come in, I can get some sleep. I can get some rest. If I've got clear skies, I want to be out there in case an aurora comes. And the clouds let me get some sleep.